what I hear you saying is that you did research,
Yeah.
and according to your research, you saw the article that was publicized that Andre Berto tested positive for nandrolone,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
It's nandrolone is in the same family as I think it's called nadrastilone,
Okay.
but he
Yeah.
tested positive for it. And
Mm.
Victor Conti was in his camp because
Yes.
Berto was a part of the snack program, right?
Yes. Yes.
And in your research, you recognize that Victor Conti said that Andre Berto told him privately that
Right.
it wasn't because of any of the supplements that Victor Conti gave him to prepare for his fight while Victor Conti was in his camp.
Correct.
Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
Okay. I have a quick question for you.
You go ahead.
And you seem like you're very intelligent. Do you think that Victor Conti, the founder and owner of a supplement company
Hmm.
that enhances athletes' performance, he
Okay.
manufactures these supplements? I'm
Yeah.
just asking you just a logical question. Do you think that Victor Conti will make a public statement and tell the public that his supplements are contaminated, that triggered Andre Berto to have a positive drug test?
So now you
It's
asked
just, it's
me.
just yes or no. We don't got to go back and forth about it.
Yes, I do
You
believe that. I
you
believe that.
believe that Victor
Yeah.
Conti will publicly come out and say, "Hey
Yeah.
guys, hey ladies, hey general public, the
Yes.
supplements that I gave Andre Berto, they're
Yes.
all contaminated, all
Yes.
of them."
Yes.
You think Victor Conti will do that?
Yes.
I see. Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Did you see the Netflix documentary?
No.
You did not see it.
Yeah.
Do you know that, since you do research and all, do you know that Victor Conti also had Barry Bonds in the snack program and ZMA?
I didn't do more research on that, so I don't know the facts around that. But
Okay.
yeah.
You know who Barry Bonds is, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to tell you, Barry Bonds was taking a lot of illegal banned substances from Victor Conti.
Hmm.
And these are Victor Conti's words that he gave to the strength and conditioning coach of Barry Bonds to give directly to Barry Bonds. Okay.
Hmm.
That's all in the Netflix documentary. It's all public record. You can play.
Sure.
It's on Netflix, by the way.
Yeah, that's fine.
And what we all saw from the Netflix documentary is that there were tests that Barry Bonds failed for PEDs. There were tests that he tested positive for. There were substances that he tested positive for, not tests that was administered by USADA. It wasn't tests that was administered by WADA. These were private tests that Victor Conti allowed, like LabCorp. You know who LabCorp is, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It was like from agencies like that, who
Okay.
Victor Conti would basically, and he would pay them on a consistent basis to make sure that his fighters would test positive and or negative, so that the levels that he was giving them of the steroids and PEDs would be documented, so that he would know how to circumvent the test, so that basically his cream and his clear product would become undetectable, so that when the fighters do test, it will never show up in their system.
Okay.
So these documents were private, but the FBI agent did his due diligence and, of course, found the evidence that there were many tests that Barry Bonds failed by using the products that Victor Conti was given
Sure.
indirectly through his strength and conditioning coach.
Sure.
Okay?
Yep.
I want to show you something on your screen because I have all the evidence. I've been doing this for 15 years.
Okay.
And I've been doing this on YouTube for over a year now. And the fans of boxing know that I'm very credible when it comes to performance enhancement in our sport. I'm going to show you something on your screen. And I have a green line on the side of my phone. Don't worry about that. Just disregard that. But I want to show you something. This is the actual, and I took a screenshot of this from the Netflix documentary. I didn't type any of this up. And I also took a screenshot of it and I highlighted it so that people like you can see it. And I did an entire video on this as well. And this was a while ago, but this was Barry Bonds' drug test because Balco, which is what Victor Conti was the founder of that company, had its own lab, and they were testing their athletes as well as sending out their blood and urine specimens to other agencies to test them. And the FBI agent is Jeff Nowitzki, who is now, I think he's like the vice president of drug testing for the UFC. But anyway, he was the FBI agent that conducted his due diligence and investigation. And this is what he came up with. And I don't know if you can see it clearly, but I'm going to try to, here it is. I'm going to turn the screen this way. I want to show it to you. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
There's an arrow pointed to something where it says, you see where it say positive? I circled it where it say positive.
Yeah, I see that.
All right, this was Barry Bonds' drug test when he was using supplements and other substances from Victor Conti.
Okay.
Do you see that arrow pointed to a word that starts with the letter N? Can you see that?
Yeah, nandrolone. I see that.
Nandrolone.
Yes.
What did you say Andre Berto tested positive for?
For nandrolone, yes.
Who was in?
So it doesn't change anything.
No.
Okay.
I got you.
All right.
Who was in Andre Berto's camp at the time that he tested positive for nandrolone?
Victor Conti.
This is after Victor Conti did his time in prison, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Who was in the camp of Barry Bonds when Barry Bonds tested positive for nandrolone?
Victor Conti.
Victor Conti. And that was before Victor Conti went to prison, correct?
Okay, sure.
Just using logic. You seem like an intelligent guy.
Okay, yeah.
Just using mere
general
logic.
Yes, let's use logic.
What's more likely to believe?
What's
Is it more likely to believe that the same thing that happened with Barry Bonds when Victor Conti was in his camp is the same thing that happened to Andre Berto when the same guy, Victor Conti, was in his camp? Is that more likely to happen?
If we're just using logic, right?
Yeah, just logic, nothing else.
Yeah, yeah, if we're just using logic, right? We have to call that a fallacy, right? Because just because something happened in the past.
Okay, hold on. Boxing hacker.
You still use logic. If something happened in the past, doesn't mean the same thing must repeat in the future.
Boxing hacker.
Well, that's just logic right there.
Okay, boxing hacker. Real quick. I'm sorry. I dropped out of college. You used a big word. You said fallacy.
Yeah.
Can you just condense? Because sometimes I'm slow. I dropped out of college. Can you just condense it to a yes or no? Is that more likely? Yes or no?
Is that more likely? It can't be deduced. It's be illogical to think that way, right?
No, I'm just asking the question. Is it more likely?
Both cases are different. I didn't, like I said, I didn't research Barry Bonds.
No.
Right.
I've done the research for you.
Yes.
No, listen, Boxing Hacker, I've done the research for you. Hold on.
I'm trying to answer your question. If
I'm using
logic,
I've done
if I'm not using emotion, I'm just using logic.
Yes.
Then I can't deduce just because somebody else had issues with Victor Conti and tested positive in the past with another case. They're two different people, two different cases.
I'm sorry.
Even though they have a common denominator of Victor Conti, it doesn't mean the same thing happened in the past.
I didn't say.
Yes. So I
didn't say it did or did not happen. I was asking a question. But you used. I just told you.
Yeah, you told me to use logic.
But Boxing Hacker, I told you just 5 seconds ago by the phone booth, I dropped out of college. You used another big word. You said deduce. Brother, you just using all these big words. I just want you to say yes or no because I'm slow. Just yes or no. Okay. Is that more likely to be the case? It's just yes or no.
Is it more likely?
Just using logic.
No. You can't put them together. Two different things.
I'm just asking a question. That's all, bro.
No.
It's just yes or
no.
Huh?
No.
You sound like a cheating husband, brother. It's
It's,
like I tried to pull
it's
something
a
out
no.
of you just a no, and
You're
you just
trying to
spinning
drive me
around
to
the block,
say an
brother.
answer that's not logical. If I use emotion, right? Let's say you did something in the past, right? You committed a crime in the past, right? And I see another crime in the future. If I use just pure emotion mixed with my logic, I might be like, oh, he must have did it because he did things in the past. But logically, if we're just speaking logically, I have to look at the circumstance around what currently happened. I can't just base it off like because he had issues in the past. He also went to prison in the past. At that case, if I was to say yes, and this is where the illogical stuff happens, right? That means anytime somebody tests positive, that's with Victor Conti, I must also blame Victor Conti as well. You see, that's how logic. Because logic, you can't deny, you can't just use logic for one person and not use it for the rest.
I get
So
it.
it's case by case basis.
I know, but I didn't say anything about emotional, bro.
You said logic.
Logic, right? And you
Yes. So
said if you were hold up,
I cannot deduce one from the other.
you're changing and modifying. Now I'm using the big word. Maybe I'm not
Man,
as slow.
see,
Maybe
now
I'm not as slow as I
high
think I
school
am. Oh,
education
okay,
is
yeah.
tight, man. High
So
school education is tight.
yeah. So
Yeah.
you're modifying my question by saying if I'm using emotion and logic, but I didn't ask you about any emotion.
Okay,
I
so
just
if we're
asked
just
you
using
about
logic, I can't deduce one from the other. No, they're
all
two
right.
different cases, two different people. Even with the common denominator, just two different people.
I was just
Now,
asking the question.
so my question is direct. I asked. Remember,
My
I asked
question was
you,
very direct, and I
and I
still
gave you
can't
the
get an
answer.
answer.
I gave the answer.